students of class 8, and as we have completed the syllabus for chemistry, we are going on with the revision part. And as I was discussing about ignition temperature, so this time I'll be telling you about what are the conditions which are necessary for combustion to take place. Now for combustion, like obviously flame has to be there. So what happens, fire have to be there, otherwise even though it is a combustible substance, if I keep it out in the open without the combustible substance, the substance will not burn. Like suppose if I want to burn a piece of paper, then I have to bring the fire near it. That is how the piece of paper will catch fire. And secondly, there has to be supporter of combustion. That is, supporter of combustion means what? Means there must be presence of oxygen in the air. Otherwise, if you keep, like suppose you want to burn some matchstick and then you put a tumbler inside it, then as soon as the amount of oxygen in the tumbler gets over, then what happens? It will obviously not have any, it won't burn, right? At one time, the matchstick or the candle flame where you have put the tumbler, inverted tumbler over it, as soon as the amount of oxygen inside the tumbler is being consumed, then you will find that the candle will stop burning. And then next is that you have to heat the substance, the combustible substance, to its ignition temperature. Now, what does it mean? That means you have to give sufficient amount of heat to the substance. Like suppose like it has to reach the ignition temperature. Like suppose for burning a piece of paper with a matchstick, then what will happen? It will not burn, right? But when you are taking a matchstick towards the piece of paper, then what will happen? It will burn very easily. And then if you bring a piece of wood with a matchstick, you cannot burn the piece of wood. You have to supply sufficient amount of flame, and then only the piece of wood will burn. So that is what the condition that is necessary for combustion to take place is. The first one is the presence of combustible substance. The second one is the presence of the supporter of combustion, and the third one is heating the combustible substance to its ignition temperature. Now, and please remember that combustion will not take place in absence of any one of this condition. That means all the three conditions should be present, then only combustion will take place. So if you have to if you have to go for an experimental investigation, then what will happen? Suppose you take a conical flask, and then what happens? You fold a piece of paper, fold a piece of filter paper, and then you put it in that 2 cups of, you make that 2 cups of cups with the filter paper, and then you fix it with you keep 2 candle over you keep the 2 candles over a table, and then burning candles, of course, and then you put the first cup with the first cup. You need not take the conical flask, so you fold the filter paper, and then you take the first cup over the burning candle. Then what will happen? It will burn automatically, very fast it will burn. But what happens if the second cup, the second filter paper which you have folded into a conical type, then and you dip it in water and then hold it over the candle flame, then what you will find? That it will not burn, because the water that is mixed with the filter paper has decreased the ignition temperature, and that is why the cone of the filter paper filled with water will not burn, because the cup because the paper cup with water, it does not burn because the paper cup with water loses the heat to the water by conduction. And I hope you know what is conduction. It is a transmission of heat by the process of in contact with one another. So now next is what is inflammable substance. Now what is inflammable substance? Now what is inflammable substance? This inflammable substance. Now actually when you are talking about inflammable substance, inflammable, that means flammable and inflammable, the word inflammable is used. So the substance that have very low ignition temperature and does not catch, and hence it can catch fire easily, that is known as inflammable substance. Now what are examples of inflammable substance is that petrol, diesel, LPG. So those substances they catches fire very easily, and that is why they are known as inflammable substance. And that is why when you are actually handling this type of substances, volatile substances which are highly inflammable, you have to take sufficient care so that you do not harm yourself. In fact, God forbid, as you have also known about the flame in the oil tank, in the means under the oil which was present under the ground, and it caught fire in Baghjan, Duliajan. So some experts from outer places, Russia, has to be brought to put off the flame, and it took lots. In fact, those experts were also being harmed, and it cost the life of two of the precious life of the employees from oil. And that actually why it took so much of time to put off the fire, because it was a volatile substance, and the flame catches fire very the oil catches fire very easily. So when you are dealing with such type of volatile and inflammable substance, you have to take care that nothing harm is being done. And that is why near the petrol pumps and all, you are not supposed to smoke. Means people are not supposed to smoke, or they are not supposed to put on the matchsticks. So a small spark, because a small spark may ignite them to catch heavy fire. So what are the types of combustion? Means there are, as I have told you before also, that there is rapid combustion, then spontaneous combustion, and then there is also explosion. Now what is rapid combustion? Now suppose a matchstick, a piece of paper, or LPG, what happens in the kitchen? They burn easily to produce heat and light. So this type of combustion which burns very easily is known as rapid combustion. And what is spontaneous combustion? That means you know that the ignition temperature of white phosphorus is 35 degrees centigrade. So it will burst into flame. And this type of combustion, when a material bursts into flame without the application of heat, is known as spontaneous combustion. That means spontaneously the fire is being caught, and that is known as spontaneous combustion. Even if you talk about sodium, if you keep out in the air, then what will happen? It will burn. So that is also a spontaneous combustion. And then suppose now that Diwali is coming, you will hear lots of firecrackers in the though there is some restriction which is being put forward by the Pollution Control Board, and that means when you are burning the firecracker, then what will happen? Then you will find that it burns with sound, and then a large amount of gas is being evolved. So that is known as explosion. So that explains actually what are inflammable substance, then what are the different types of combustion. The different types of combustion is rapid combustion, then explosion is there, and also there is spontaneous combustion. So I have also given you the examples for combustion, rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, or explosion. So I hope you have understood what are the different types of combustion, and this combustion, if you have, of course, if you have any more confusion, you can very well come up in the Zoom class. Until that time, do have a great time ahead. Thank you very much.